All right, fellas. So this is trolling 101. This is how to troll your adversaries. So in this video, Mayor Pete is gonna troll Klobuchar successfully, and he does. Like, I'm a fucking Bernie supporter, and I commend this guy for truly being a skilled troll in debating. So here goes.
President of Mexico or discuss any of his policies. Last night, you defended yourself saying, quote, "This is in jeopardy." But my question to you is, shouldn't our next president know more about one of our largest trading partners?
Of course. Of course. And I don't think that momentary forgetfulness actually reflects what I know about Mexico and how much I care about it. And I first want to say greetings to President López Obrador. Secondly, what I meant by the game of Jeopardy is that I think we could all come up with things. You know, how many members are there in the Israeli Knesset? 120. Who is the president of Honduras? Hernandez. But when it comes to Mexico, I am the one person on this stage that came out first to say I was for the U.S. Mexican-Canadian trade agreement. That is going to be one of the #1 duties of a president.
Senator Klobuchar, my colleague specifically asked you if you could name the president of Mexico, and your response was no.
Yes, that's right. And I said that I made an error. I think having a president that maybe is humble and is able to admit that here and there maybe wouldn't be a bad thing.
Mayor Buttigieg,
if you could let me,
if
you could.
Yeah, look, I wouldn't liken this to trivial. I actually didn't know how many members were in the Knesset, so
well,
you got me there. But you're staking your candidacy on your Washington experience. You're on the committee that oversees border security. You're on the committee that does trade. You're literally in part of the committee that's overseeing these things, and we're not able to speak to literally the first thing about the politics of the country to ourselves.
Are you trying to say that I'm dumb, or are you mocking me here, Pete?
I'm saying that you shouldn't trivialize
I made an error. People sometimes forget names. I am the one that has, #1, has the experience based on passing over 100 bills. If I could respond, this was a pretty big allegation. He's basically saying that I don't have the experience to be president of the United States. I have passed over 100 bills as the lead Democrat since being in the U.S. Senate. I am the one, not you, that has won statewide in congressional district after congressional district. And I will say, when you tried in Indiana, Pete, to run, what happened to you? You lost by over 20 points to someone who later lost to my friend Joe Donnelly. So don't tell me about experience. What unites us here is we want to win. Right. And I think we should put a proven winner in charge of the ticket.
This is a race for president. This is a race for president. If winning a race for Senate in Minnesota translated directly to becoming president, I would have grown up under the presidency of Walter Mondale. This is different. And the reason that I think we need to talk about Washington experience is that we should ask what that experience has led to. Experience is, and certainly tenure is not always the same thing as judgment. If we're going to talk about votes in the Senate in Washington, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about the major policy.
Next question.
My answers.
Hello. Thank you. Senator Warren and Mayor Bloomberg, this question is for you. I want to talk about, and maybe this is appropriate here.
Can I just defend Senator Klobuchar for...
And that was the first crack, or the first chink in the armor. Pay attention to Meat's facial expressions. Pay attention to how Klobuchar is clearly getting flustered. So this is the second part. Second part of Pete trolling her.
Senator Warren, you're right. But Senator Klobuchar could not discuss Mexican policy.
Fair enough.
I'm the only one who knows this man. I met with him.
I do have to respond.
Come on, man.
You have just invoked my name again, and I ask you to look at the interview I did directly after the forum, which are bad bad criminal organizations. He said that he would be open to classifying them as terrorist organizations. I actually don't agree with that. That is a very valid debate to have. I don't think that would be good for our security coordination with Mexico, and I think you got that wrong.
Well, at least that's
more time in Mexico than anybody. Can I get a chance to say something?
Hold on,
Vice President.
See, thank you. Look, I'm the only one to spend extensive hundreds of hours in Latin America.
Thank you, Joe, for contributing nothing. But anyway, so here's the last clip. This one's pretty lengthy, but you can tell she's pretty frustrated by Pete. Everything about her body language, how she's not as confident when speaking. Pete is just like fucking wrecking her. But anyway, here's the last part.
Children are currently protected from deportation because of a program that is now under the review by the Supreme Court. If the court sides with the Trump administration, which is eager to end this protection, what exactly is your plan to protect the Dreamers permanently?
To win, to beat Donald Trump. The best way to protect the Dreamers is to have a new president. There are the votes there to protect the Dreamers. And I have been working on this since I got to the United States Senate. In my first campaign, I actually had a bunch of ads run against me because I was standing up for immigrants. And when I think of Dreamers and I try to explain it to my state, I found a 99-year-old. Dreamers are our future. The Dreamers are so important in Nevada, and the best way we can get this done is to beat Donald Trump, but it is to pass comprehensive immigration reform, which creates a path to citizenship to so many hardworking people, will bring down the deficit by $158 billion, and will bring peace for these Dreamers.
Thank you so much.
No other country but our own.
Thank you.
If you're going to run based on your record of voting in Washington, then you have to own those votes, especially when it comes to immigration. You voted to confirm the head of Customs and Border Protection under Trump, who was one of the architects of the family separation policy. You voted to make English the national language. Do you know the message that sends in as multilingual a state as Nevada to immigrants? You have been unusual among Democrats, I think the Democrat among all of the senators running for president, most likely to vote for Donald Trump's judges, who we know are especially hostile to Dreamers and to the rights of immigrants. Now, in South Bend, it was not always easy to stand up in a conservative place like Indiana on immigration, but we delivered. We created a municipal ID program so that Dreamers and others who were undocumented were able to navigate everyday life. We stood up for those rights and stood with members of our community with the message that they were as American as we are. A los soñadores hay que decir que este país es tu país también.
Everyone was as perfect. I wish everyone was as perfect as you, Pete, but let me tell you what it's like to be in the arena. And number one, do the math. If my friend Andrew Yang was up here, that's what he'd say. In fact, I have opposed and not supported 2/3 of the Trump judges, so get your numbers right. And I am in the top 10 to 15 of opposing them. Number two, when it comes to immigration reform, the things that you are referring to, that official that you are referring to was supported by about half the Democrats, including someone in this room. And I will say this, he was highly recommended by the Obama officials. You know why? Because Trump had so few career people. I did not one bit agree with these draconian policies to separate kids from their parents. And in my first 100 days, I would immediately change that. And I would add one more thing. I have been in the arena. Ted Kennedy, he had made a pretty big allegation against me again, and I think I should have a right to respond.
I'm stating the facts because these are votes that you took, and those votes set you alone among the Democrats running for president. No other is it true or is it false that no other Democrat from the Senate running for president voted that way?
What you've said about the judges are false. You are comparing me to two colleagues up here on the stage, and you are forgetting one thing.
I would say anybody who ran for president this cycle, Senator Harris, Senator Booker, saw through this. If you could let me finish, since I've been in the arena, Ted Kennedy asked me to work on the first immigration bill. We were able, with President Bush, to at least get that bill to a vote. I'm sorry, but Senator
Sanders actually opposed that bill, and I worked on it. And if we had gotten that bill done, there would have been a path to citizenship for so many people. Then I worked on the 2013 bill. I'm actually so proud of the work I've done on immigration reform. And you know what? You have not been in the arena doing that work. You've memorized a bunch of talking points and a bunch of things, but I can tell you one thing. What the people of this country want, they want a leader that has the heart for the immigrants of this country, and that is me.
You know, maybe leading a diverse city that was facing ruin doesn't sound like the arena to you. I'm used to senators telling mayors that senators are more important than mayors, but this is the arena too. You don't have to be in Washington to matter. You don't have to be on Capitol Hill for your work to be significant.
Guys,
the arena
we are at the end. We are at the end here. We are at the end here. I got to let that one go. We are.
And that's it, fellas. That is trolling 101. Getting under your opponent's skin and coming off as a composed guy. So people will, in the following days, say Pete is petty, Pete is this, Pete is that. But no, the reality is, in this situation, Pete came off as the guy composed, while Klobuchar was literally, like, you could see it in her face. She was ready to throw a stapler at him. So, yeah, that's how to do it. If you want to troll, be calm, take your shots here and there, but make sure you take good shots, and that's what Pete did. He had that smug look on his face, and you could tell that Klobuchar was getting pissed. She was clearly getting pissed, even though I will err on, or I'll give her this, or I'll grant her this. The moderator, the Latina moderator from Telemundo, was very biased against her. That being said, Pete was still a masterclass troll. If you want to troll people that are very rich and out of class, take a look at his mannerisms, the way he talked. This is a prime video on how to troll people. And this, I guarantee Pete has been reading The Art of War, because the way to beat Klobuchar is to get pretty much upset her. And because she's been known to be this person that is fairly unhinged when she gets upset. There are reports of her throwing staplers at her staffers. So if you want to beat her, which in my opinion he did, you get under her skin, which he did. And I don't care what anyone says in this exchange or in these exchanges, Pete clearly fucking won. That guy came off like a pro. Looked like a fucking badass, just trolling the shit out of her while maintaining calm, cool, collected the whole time. He completely won that exchange. But anyway, it's over. It's over. Peace, guys.